He's mine now.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Bloks, and today I've got a rather surreal video for me to be making at least, and that is the review of the 2012 I think, Halo Mega Bloks Series 4, which I believe was released in 2012 now. The reason this is surreal is for several reasons. First of all, it's really nostalgic to see all these figures before me again, like this in a row, and also I'm not used to having that Cortana. I'll explain that in a minute, but also because this is actually a sequel to a video, technically a sequel to a video that is 2 years old on the Bloks channel. If you remember, if you were here back when I first started making videos, or if you just scroll back, you'll see a 2-year-old video. In fact, no, I have a playlist of all my Halo Mega Bloks videos from a little while ago. I haven't updated it, I will admit, for a little bit, but that is in there, and it is 2 years old, and it is the Series 2 and 3 reviews I did. And I would have just gone on to Series 4 because I had fun making the series reviews, although didn't sound like it in my videos. I really did have fun making them, and I loved the series. But Series 4 I never had complete because I was missing one figure. No prizes for guessing which one I was missing. And also, yeah, I didn't have Series 1 either, which I still don't, but I'm planning on getting that very soon. I do have a plan for that, so possibly a Series 1 review will be coming soon. But for now, I'm going to focus on, of course, Series 4, and we're going to go from commons to rare, so let's do that. Like the 3 series preceding it, Series 4 consists of 8 figures. The first 5 are common, the next 2 are the rares, and finally the ultra rare. Starting with the 5 commons, we have the most common figure I used to get from this series. It happened with Series 2, it almost happened with Series 3, and it happened with Series 4. The Brute figure, which I have succeeded in dropping down the side of my bed. Here it is. This guy is the Copper Brute Miner. Now, aside from the fact that he is he was wearing copper armor, he doesn't actually have anything unique or special about him compared to the previous 2 series as Brutes. He comes with the same generic grey Brute Spiker, and he has the same detail colours. We have the brown for the sort of belt strap, blue for the details here on the front of the armour, and black / very dark brown for the fur, and also the light, basically white dots for the eyes. However, this guy is very, very common. He's one of the commonest figures in any of the figure packs, in my opinion, because I have at least 12 of these guys, so that's pretty damn common. And this is with filling up packs some of the time, so yeah, he was everywhere, but not overall that bad of a figure. Bit generic, but I like the copper colour, and it's decent for army building. So on to the next common. Speaking of army building, we have, in my opinion, the second best army building figure in the series, the Blue Elite Miner. Now this guy is the updated Elite Miner design, which is the second in the, I think, like 5 redesigns now for the Elite Miners. We have this second generation 2 is the first to include peg holes, and it was also the first to really include a ton of detail into the jumpsuit, into the armor itself, and into the head especially. It was the first design to completely show the extra additions to the helmet that were added in Halo 3. The original design is much of a Halo Reach / Halo Wars design. Halo Combat Evolved design, because it's from Halo Wars. The Halo Wars elites look much less sort of detailed and intricate than the Halo 3 ones do, like this guy. What I like about this guy is the nice, really dark blues, a nice sort of subtle colour for an army building miner elite. Also the little details like the light blue and the red eyes are a nice touch. However, the regular purple plasma pistol is technically a drawback. However, for an army builder, it's not the worst. It's a bit annoying since elites don't really use these in the games very much. They usually use plasma rifles, which they could easily have included, as I believe the plasma rifle was already out at this point, but still, it's not much of a drawback. We have the black jumpsuit and the black skin, which not all elites had at this point, but most of the Generation 2 elites did have, so pretty good army builder though, one of the best in the series. Moving on to the next figure. So the final Covenant figure in the whole series, actually, is the Crimson Elite Pilots. There weren't actually that many Covenant figures in this series. This one, however, is not that figure. This is the Crimson Elite Pilot or Flight Elite from the 2011 or 10 Banshee. So why have I not included the Series 4 version? Well, because he's almost identical, except for these sort of blue tech looking extra details on the shoulders and the top of the head and on the chest, as well as the additional grey detailing on the arms, chest and back. The reason is because I can't find the actual Series 4 figure, who is almost the same, as I said, except for the additional detailing on this, but that's genuinely embarrassing. That the reason that this series isn't technically complete for me is because of this, and not because of the ultra rare, which was so rare that entire boxes of these packs didn't have them in sometimes. But no, this is the one that shoots me in the foot. I'm going to have to get this guy on eBay, well, the actual Series 4 one, which is a bit of an embarrassment, but still. This guy's technically a better figure anyway, but he's also really similar, so he'll work. Also, they're the exact same mold, so I can say things like no peg hole, and the skin was the same colour, and the armour and jumpsuit were the same colour as well. And he did come with the generic purple pistol, which is fine for a pilot. It's actually pretty accurate, so as an army builder, it's passable. I mean, a lot of Covenant fight vehicles were out at the time, so you could use them in those, but at the same time, pilot is not really what you want to army build as much as, say, infantry or, heavy weapons or something else like that. So, pretty good figure overall, though. No real complaints, apart from the fact that I don't technically own it. And moving on. So for the UNSC figures in this series, which do make up the majority this time around, we have the two last commons. One of them is one of the best army builders, in fact no, the best army builder in this particular series. The second is probably the worst common in the first 5 series, easily I'd say, and that is the Arctic pilot. So before anyone tries to defend him in the comments, I actually like him as a figure. At this point, we only had this design one time, and he was really rare. The 2010 Pelican pilot is still to this day unique. This exact figure, but with the green jumpsuit and helmet, that was the Pelican pilot. This was the first reskin of it, and it was in white. He has white jumpsuit and helmet, the really dark grey armour, a generic grey magnum, but still a decent weapon for a pilot to have, probably pretty accurate, and this bronzish visor, and he did have an exposed face, which I was really excited about getting at the time because those figures were rare. However, not only is this guy really stupidly common, I have like at least 5 of these, and that's without filling up packs for the most part. I didn't really fill up too many packs with this series, but this guy is such an obscure niche of an army builder, in quotes, that it really shouldn't have been a common. Like, I'm not suggesting this guy should have been a rare, because he's honestly not really material enough to be a rare. I really would rather wish they'd included a different figure and left this guy out of the series entirely, maybe put him in a different set, because, let's be honest, okay, who actually wants to army build Arctic pilots? No, seriously, I would genuinely be interested to know that answer to that question, because not only are Arctic vehicles kind of niche, but there weren't even any Arctic flying vehicles out at the time of the series, if I'm correct, and I can't even remember any now. I mean, sure, you could just use him in a regular one in an Arctic scenario, but why bother with the Arctic camo for yourself if your vehicle is not going to use Arctic camo? I mean, there were Arctic Warthogs, and yeah, they're not going to be driven by pilots, they're going to be driven by Marines who know how to drive. Literally anyone can drive a Warthog in Halo. However, the pilot is already a pretty specialised role, and this is just too niche to be a common, in my opinion. Too niche to even be in this series, to be honest, but at least it was a common and not a rare, so you wouldn't really be actually... If you like this guy, you wouldn't have any trouble getting him. That's almost a problem, though, because I got way too many of this guy, but yeah, this is my least favourite figure in the series, if you couldn't tell. Still kind of like him as a figure, though, and he is the second to last common. The final common in Series 4, and the best army builder in the series to me, is this guy, the sort of lighter green UNSC Marine. So he's the Halo Wars design, and Halo Wars Marines are literally made to be army built, because they are from a game that involves you deploying groups of them. Also, he just looks really freaking generic, and that is a compliment for an army builder because he looks like he has forest camo, which is one of the most common settings for a firefight in Halo. He has the classic grey assault rifle, which, while generic, is certainly not bad for an army builder. And he is almost identical to the Series 2 Marine, aside from the fact that his armour, instead of being that really dark green colour, is more of a sort of grass green colour. I actually do prefer the Series 2 Marine's colour for army building, as it's much more accurate to the game, I think, but this guy's also really, really sweet. He has that nice bronzish visor, the same grey colour for the armour that these Marines used almost exclusively while they were being made in this design. However, as I said, he has that grass green for the jumpsuit, and yeah, peg hole. Nothing much more really to talk about this guy, except for the fact that, despite being a really good army builder, I only got a few of these, damn it. Stupid brutes and pilots that I didn't even want. But yeah, really good figure. Moving on to the rares. So, as always for the older series, this series did include 2 rare figures, and they're both UNSC this time around. First of all, I'm going to talk about what is, in my opinion, the lesser interesting guy, which is this one right here, the purple EVA Spartan. And I still really like this figure. The purple colour is a really nice touch and a homage to the rare from Series 2, the purple regular Spartan. Purple still wasn't a very common colour for the UNSC back then, it was definitely a Covenant colour. He does come with a really stupidly generic Brute Spiker in grey. I wish they'd made it black because that would have at least made it stand out, but I mean, back in the day when I collected this series, I thought, oh, you UNSC character that actually comes with a Covenant weapon. How outlandish and, new. Yeah, it's just a generic Brute Spiker, which I already had so many of at the time, I don't even know why I cared, but yeah. As you can probably guess, I would have rather he came with, like, something else, maybe a Brute Shot, like a full homage to the the Series 2 Purple Spartan who came with a Brute Shot, which was a much better choice for a rare, to be honest, but this guy has the nice bronzish visor for the EVA helmet as well, which they usually have more of a goldish sheen to me, but aside from that, the EVA mold is still really great in the original articulation. Peg hole, of course, really accurate, nice design for the Halo 3 EVA armour. And yeah, not much more to say about this guy. Nice rare, I only got one of him though, I think. The second, and to me much better and much cooler rare, which I did end up getting like 4 of, is this guy, the yellow ODST. So not only were ODSTs themselves kind of a commodity back then, because we only had a few out, but also in a hero pack, making them actually accessible was really, really cool at the time. And also the details and colours on him are great. One of my favourite ODSTs still to this day. The black jumpsuit with the silver armour really made him stand out and look really cool, especially when compared to some of the other ODST designs out there. And also the yellow being not only my favourite colour, but also a nice shade of it for an ODST, along with that really nice metallic blue visor making him stand out heavily from the rest of the figures in the series, make this guy a must-have for ODST fans, and just, if you're collecting this series, really want to try and get this guy. He does come with a black assault rifle, which is decent for an ODST to have, and also, at least it's not the grey version, so it goes with his armour perfectly. So yeah, really, really standout figure, glad I have more than one of it. So there are several things that make this series stand out as being really special. It was the first series to include redesigned packs. It was a Spartan helmet pack in green. I'm never going to forget that packaging design. It was also the first series to remove the rather clunky, admittedly nostalgic, but clunky, just standard black bricks for the figures to stand on, and to give them 2x3 actual plates, probably inspired by the LEGO minifigure series. But there's a third, and by far the most important reason this series is special, and that is because it introduced this figure to the world. Not only was this the first Cortana figure ever released, but it's, I'd say, the rarest by a decent margin, and it's also probably the most special. It came with this entirely custom built stand, which, if you're a Halo fan, you can probably tell this is the chip, the actual AI data chip. Give me that chip. Sorry, the Halo 4 meme must prevail, but it is Cortana's data chip, which Chief inserts into the back of his helmet. And of course, this is the classic Bungie design Cortana with that transparency that is absent in most later figures of her. There is a brand new one that's like this, but this one was not only the first Cortana figure, but also the first custom molded figure ever to be included in a mystery pack. And I don't actually remember many custom molded figures even existing before Cortana from this series, so this is a really, really cool figure, just in every single way. one of the other things that makes this figure stand out is the detailing and sculpting work is fantastic. I'm not saying the others aren't, but this is really, really stand out, especially for 2012. The face sculpting is really, really great. The paintwork on the transparent torso and entire body is really nice. And the slight blue colour to the transparency is not only accurate, but also really refreshing, because this was also... It's a record breaker in so many ways. It was also the first ultra rare in a minifigure series to not be an active camo of something. Series 1 was the active camo mark for generic Spartan, which I still love that thing. Series 2 was the everlasting iconic active camo Flame Marine, and Series 3 was the amazing active camo Elite Miner. However, Cortana, literal Cortana, one of the most iconic characters from all of Halo, and such a standout job of her too, and the Bungie design and so many more, being the ultra rare in this series, understandably makes her desirable. Very desirable. And she's the ultra rare. Custom built stand and everything, so you might be thinking, well, that's quite easy to fill up the packs and get one, right? Well, you're wrong. Very wrong. This figure was so rare that entire cases of this series were not guaranteed to include one. And I'm not just talking about people who just literally went through feeling all the packs, taking the rare ones and then reselling them. Weren't even just the reason this was so rare. They just weren't always put in the cases, because that's how rare they were. So you might be wondering, well, how did I get so lucky as to pull one? Well, I didn't. I actually got this figure literally today. I bought it on eBay a few days ago, and I am very pleased with its condition, and of course the figure itself, because I'd never even held one before. Overall, absolutely fantastic 10 out of 10 figure, probably easily up there in the top 2 or 3 best figures ever released in a mystery pack for the Halo Mega Bloks series, and obviously the standout and my favourite from this series. Just one more thing though, let me know which Cortana you guys prefer. The classic original Bungie design from this series with the transparency, or the newer designs from Halo 4 and onwards, this is from the broadsword, which are completely opaque and include all the painted details. Both are great, but I want to know what you guys think, so tell me in the comments below, which Cortana would you want? Let's pretend that rarity is not a factor here. Which Cortana would you rather have? So, with that little comment challenge being said, that's pretty much it for this Cortana figure, and I would highly recommend that if anyone is trying to complete or collect this series in general, that you check eBay for this figure if you don't just buy packs randomly, because she is a real pain in the ass to get hold of, and she can be ridiculously overpriced to get as well. I've seen people pay over £50 for these. So, thank you for checking out this little video. I hope you enjoyed my Series 4 review, a sequel to a 2-year-old video on the Bloks channel, my Series 3 review. And I will be doing Series 5, 6, etc. reviews soon, although not all of them are guaranteed to be complete. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video, which, if you want a sneak preview of, go and follow the Instagram account VolkusYT. It's my official Instagram account for this YouTube channel, and it includes sneak peeks, previews, and alluding little pictures of upcoming videos, possibly tomorrow or maybe not. Hint, hint. That was the worst sales pitch I've ever heard, but just go and follow the account if you like this video, please. I don't even know why I made it, but I need it for promoting my stuff and previews and stuff. So, thank you for watching this rambly little segment, as well as the rest of the video. Goodbye, before I waste any more time. Bye. Hey there everyone, Volkus here, just here again to say thank you so much for watching the video you just did and for sticking around with the channel. If you did enjoy this video, please do remember to check out some of the others that I have uploaded, as well as subscribing, as we are getting closer and closer to that 50 subscriber mark, and anything you can do towards that will not go unnoticed. I'd also really appreciate it if you could leave some feedback, be it a like, dislike. I want your genuine views, and also a comment in the comment section would be nice. I do try to read as many as I can, so if you drop something down there, I'll probably see it. Be sure to check the description, and you'll see some of my friends, and also just some pretty good videos that I have linked down there. Depending on the video, it may or may not be pretty full or pretty sparse, but still, might as well check there. I've been Volkus, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in whatever I upload after this. Goodbye.